everyone, it's me Tiffany. Welcome back to my channel where I share all things pregnancy, postpartum, and motherhood related. I am a certified birth and postpartum doula, so that means that I support women and their families on their journey from conception to postpartum. If you have not had a chance yet, please check out my website at www.sacredarrival.com. You can check out my childbirth education courses, my doula services, and you can check out my blogs. So I just want to get on here real quick and do this video about some harsh truths when it comes to being a parent. This is not for the weak. I swear it's not. And before I hear people be like, well, you can decide not to have kids. I'm not talking to y'all. That's your decision. If you don't want to have any children, that's absolutely fine, and that is wonderful. But for those of us who do decide to have children, we understand that it's gonna come with some stuff that ain't gonna be so fun. I mean, there's not a handbook, to it. People can give you advice. People can tell you what to expect, or people can tell you, oh, well, if I were you, I would do this. If I were you, I would do that. But honestly, it's one of those things. You can read all the parenting books. You can take all the advice, but it's one of those things you have to go through to learn it. One harsh truth that I've come to terms with is that parenting is going to test your relationships, your marriage, whether you have a boyfriend, whether you have a girlfriend, whether you have a husband, wife. It is definitely going to test your relationship, because you have to find that balance between being a parent, being a spouse, or being a parent, being a mate. And especially during those early days, like the first year of life, it's tough. It's really tough, because you're trying to find out where each of you fit in each other's lives. If you're first time parents, you're trying to figure out how to do this thing. You have some women who don't want to loosen up the reins and allow their boyfriends or husbands to get in there and be active and learn what it means to be a father and learn how to be a father. And then you have some fathers who just offer little to no support. The woman is the one that has to get up most nights and has to deal with the baby, and then you got to figure out one-on-one time, figure out being intimate. And it takes some time, and it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of commitment and dedication on both parts. I mean, I know several clients of mine, even myself. You look at your mate and you're just like, bro, what you doing? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why are we, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to figure it out. But when you come out on the other side, you will be so much stronger. You figure out, what each other's strengths and weaknesses are, and you figure out how to work, from there, and you be a team, and that's what it's all about. But it's gonna test you for real. Another harsh truth that I've learned is, just because you love your children don't mean other folks love your children. It's some people out here who do not literally hate kids. Forgot the fact that when they came here, they were kids. Like, look at them. They just despise, just sick, just don't like children. And that's, to each their own. That's crazy to me. But, like I said, everybody to each their own. But you can't expect other people to accept and love your children just because they're your children. And that's how you feel. You know what I'm saying? People out here aren't going to think like you, aren't going to feel like you, aren't going to have the same, morals and things like that when it comes to your children. So you got to remember that, when you go to family functions and things like that, especially if you have smaller children, and their children would be children, like to run and like to play and like to do things. And then you have people turning their noses up like, can't you get them to sit down? Can't you get them to do this? Can't you get them to do that? Now, I'm not saying anything wrong with like disciplining your children, especially if they're out of line, but also children will be children. Like, come on. They're not animals at the zoo, although sometimes they can act a little rowdy like animals. But just remember, everybody not gonna like your kids just because they're your kids. Everybody ain't gonna like them. Another harsh truth that I'm coming to accept, or I have accepted, my oldest, she's gonna be 21 in 2 weeks. My youngest is 4. And just because you have that title of mom and dad does not mean that you know everything. I'm the type of parent where I'm open to learning from my children. And when I tell you, my girls, they teach me stuff every day. I mean, every day. And I step back and I look at myself and I'm like, okay, you know, that makes sense. I'm learning this, I'm learning that, you know. But your kids, they will humble you. They'll humble you real quick. And I'm grateful that we have that relationship that we have, you know, that I'm able to take, you know, knowledge and criticism and things like that from them, because a lot of us grew up old school. You were seen and not heard. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't speak up. You couldn't say, you know, whether you agreed or disagreed with something, or, you know, if your parent did something to you and you know, that hurt your feelings, or you felt a way about it. They didn't care nothing about none of that. Shut up. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it was. That's what it was. You were not in a space where you could say nothing. And now a lot of us are older and we're grown and we're trying to heal from traumas and all that good jazz. But, you know, our parents did the best that they could do. But, you know, I'm just saying, I've learned that, you know, I've learned to just kind of step back and be quiet and let them voice their opinions and say what it is that they need to say. And we're allowed to, you know, I allow them and myself as well to have conversations, real conversations, because I'm trying to prepare them and allow them to be, you know, productive citizens in society. And I want them to understand that they do have a voice. Don't sit back and let, you know, anything slide. If you feel like something is wrong, or you feel like, even if you feel like I've crossed a boundary, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Another harsh truth that I have learned is it can get lonely sometimes. Being a parent can definitely get lonely. You can have, you know, all the friends in the world, all the support in the world, but there are just some times where you truly and honestly feel like nobody really understands what you're going through in that moment. We all go through similar things, but we also all process things differently. And even though someone can be going through the same thing that you're going through, you're probably not going to process it and be able to handle it the way that someone else would. And there are times where, you know, yeah, you may want to reach out, or you may want to say, hey, I got this situation going on. But sometimes you just would rather deal with it on your own. And it can be, you know, it can be a little lonely, you know, parenting. It can, because again, you just kind of feel like they're not going to understand what I'm going through in this moment, you know. And that's okay. That's okay. Every trial that I have gone through when it comes to my girls, in that moment it kind of feels like, man, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. How did I end up, you know what I'm saying? But we've always come out stronger and better on the other side, and I'm good. I'm grateful, you know. I'm grateful. I love being a mom. I honestly do. It ain't easy. I ain't finna sit up here and act like it's just, you know, peaches and cream, bed of roses, because it's really not. But I really do love being a mom, and I'm grateful that I was able to bring 4 beautiful girls into this world, and, you know, they were gifts to me, you know. I have to remember that. I don't know, people, you know, a lot of people are funny with the whole spiritual and stuff, like, you know, spirituality and things like that, but, you know, your babies choose you. They choose you for a specific reason. They come here, you know, to help you heal and help you grow. And it's just crazy to me that people mistreat their children. They mistreat the gift that was given to them, you know, abuse them, neglect them, you know, take them for granted. Yeah, that's crazy to me. But another thing I've learned, man, stop comparing yourself to all these other parents out here, these TikTok gurus. And I ain't discrediting none of them, but what I'm saying is, all them folks y'all done seen on TikTok, they facing some type of criminal charges and stuff. They be having some crazy stuff going on. So stop, you know, comparing yourself to what you see online. Stop, you know, feeling like, oh, I gotta get this book. Well, so-and-so, Dr. So-and-so said do it this way, or this TikToker said do it this way, or this YouTuber, I'm on YouTube, but I'm just saying, this YouTuber said, you know what I'm saying, do it this way. Do not compare. Your journey is your journey. As long as you're keeping them babies alive, you feeding them, they got all their fingers, their toes, they're, you know, they're happy, they're good, even on their sad days and their mad days, you know. as long as you are doing the absolute best that you can to make sure that your children, or your child, if you only have one, is, you know, taken care of and provided for, that's what matters. Sometimes we get so caught up in what, you know, other people say that we should do, or who they think that, you know, you should be. It's all right to take, you know, advice from people here and there, kind of like, you know, listen to things that people say, but don't feel like you should be like anybody else. You be like you be you. You know, yes, we all have room for improvement. None of us are perfect. You know, we're not put here to, there's just no such thing as perfection. It's just not gonna happen. But what I'm saying is, don't compare yourself to other parents out here. You have skills and you have abilities that are effective, you know, and use them. And continue every day to learn. Because I'm telling you, you're going to wake up one morning, you be like, I got this parenting thing down. I can do this. You can't tell me nothing. Something's going to happen. And you like, dang, wait a minute. I wasn't prepared for that one. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to learn and you're going to keep on moving. Be you. Be your own authentic mother or father. Be you. But anyways, I just wanted to get on here and kind of talk about some truths that I've learned and some things that other, you know, clients and other women, moms, and friends of mine that have shared with me along the way on this parenting journey. But I thank you so much, as always, for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.